Hello, everybody. Alright, so today has been a rough day. It's up there on the days, our bad days. It's bad. It's pretty bad. So, I started the job yesterday. I don't really know how to say. Okay, so this job, as it was explained to me, the training was scheduled to be 4 weeks, and I'm thinking, perfect. This is finally a quote unquote call center job that actually takes the time to train you in what to do in the and the information that you're going to be responsible for helping customers with and everything like that. Okay, so today was my second day, and came in just like I came in every other day. I say every other day. I literally only worked since yesterday. Went into the training room that they have there. The trainer recapped the things that he, quote, taught us yesterday, and then added to that a little bit about, what's the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do when you're working as, customer support, what you should say, what you shouldn't say. A lot of that's just pretty much common sense. But I imagine they probably have had trouble with that. Not everybody is meant for every job. So, and then it was right after our first break. Yesterday he told us that we would be taking calls or doing mock calls by at least Wednesday or even Thursday, which freaked me out a little bit. But I was like, okay, mock call. I felt good about that because the other call centers I've worked for didn't offer that. So I was like, okay, still they're doing it the right way. Well, after our first break, he came back into the training room and said, okay, come on, we're going to start with some mock calls. We went out to the floor at our training desks, and we were assigned a buddy. And these were not mock calls. These were actual live customers that were calling for help, basically. And that's something else. This job was described to me this company is described as an answering service. The job that I was hired to do was not answering and taking messages or forwarding calls or, anything like that. This was more like a technical support type of a position. It was working for AT&T. And they had us taking live calls on the second day of quote-unquote training. I had no idea what was going on. I still didn't even really understand the terminology that they were using or what our department even... there was just so much that I didn't know and I didn't understand. And unfortunately, when I get into situations like that and I don't have a grasp on what it is or what I'm doing, I panic. And unfortunately, when I panic, it's like how's the best way to describe that? It's like a ball rolling down a hill. It can't be stopped. or say a boulder, maybe. I mean, I guess technically you can argue that there are ways to stop it, but in that moment, I've already lost control of those, anxiety-ridden emotions, and I do all the things that I'm told to do. Take a deep breath, feed yourself some positive affirmation. I was sitting there, I was taking a deep breath a lot, telling myself I could do it. It was going to be okay. I was going to be fine. I took my first call and I froze. I was so wrapped up in, wait, what does this mean? What does that mean? What's the next step? What do I do? I literally didn't hear what the customer was even saying. Like, I was just, okay. So after that call, I went into that panic mode. And unfortunately, when I go into that panic mode, I cry. And I can't stop it. But luckily, about the time that all of this was happening, it was about lunchtime. And I did take, lunch. I took, the opportunity to step away. I went to my car and bawled. I just cried and cried and cried. And I was like, I can't do this. This is not what was described to me. This is not what I was prepared for. This is not what I thought I would be doing. And come to find out, they considered what they did yesterday as the training, and then they would be there to kind of back you up or support you when you needed help. How they got the 4 weeks of training is this week we were being, quote, trained on the AT&T. Next week we were supposed to be trained on Verizon. The 2 weeks following that were two different companies that I don't even think that they even told us. And that's their 4 weeks of training. So needless to say, it did not end well for me. After lunch, I went back in and basically said, I just don't think that this is a good fit for me. I was kind, I was nice. The trainer, he was a nice guy. I liked him a lot as a person. I didn't necessarily think that his training was bad. I just don't think that it was enough. And unfortunately for me, with the dyslexia, it just throws in an extra kink in the chain. My process speed and my ability to process a lot of information quickly just it just wasn't a good fit. But now I am now unemployed again. I worked for a day and a half. It feels like I've been trying and I've been working and I've been wanting and I've been hoping, and nothing is working. Nothing is going my way. When I this weekend before I started this job, I was feeling really good. I was feeling more energized. I was cleaning house and doing laundry and things that when I'm sucked into the depth of depression, I typically do not do. But just the idea of finally having some financial security just made me feel excited, and I was finally accepting the fact that, this was my next step. This was something that was going to be positive in my life, and it didn't turn out that way. So I'm back where I started from, maybe even a little bit worse, because it's like each time that I have a failed attempt or something like this goes wrong, it just takes a notch out of me. I feel small. I feel like I'm a loser, like I can't do anything, and I can't see past this haze of there's nothing I can do. Like I want to be able to work, and I want to be able to get up tomorrow and go to work, and I want to be productive and successful, but I cannot think of anything that I'm going to be successful at, because I'm so buried into this. I can't seem to find my way out of it. And so, my mother was talking to me about, some studying or websites she had found about, dyslexia and careers for people with dyslexia, jobs for dyslexics, or that are good for. Anyway, sorry, I'm kind of rambling at the moment. Anyway, I found this website, Careers for People with Dyslexia, and they're not joking. Can create challenges in the workplace. Well, yeah. I haven't experienced it up to this point, but now it's like up in my face, screaming and yelling at me. I can't get away from it. So they talk about career options for people, with dyslexia. They explain, okay, is a learning disability that makes it difficult to read and write words. As I've stated in the past, my reading really isn't my biggest problem. Sometimes dyslexics transpose words or mix up numbers they're trying to read. Yeah, okay, yeah. This can lead to difficulties in the workplace. However, people with dyslexia may also have a number of gifts such as greater spatial awareness, the ability to pull out what information is important, visual thinking, and a greater understanding of how things work. Here are a few career choices for people with dyslexia. A lot of that is true. Yeah, no. The machinist, no. Graphic designer, if I had the schooling, or maybe. I love anything creative. Carpenter, nope. Landscape architect, nope. Urban and regional planner, definitely nope. And photographer. Now, photography is something that I've always kind of shown an interest in. But it was more like, okay, a hobby, and was not something that I've ever gotten any kind of education or schooling in, or really even know how to do it, even semi-professionally. But I can definitely see that, because I can relate to that. It's just, people with dyslexia often think in terms of visual rather than words. True. Working, is it machinist? Maybe a good job choice, because dyslexics are good at understanding how something works. If you say so. They work from blueprints or computer-controlled machines to make various parts of tools. Okay, I understand. That just doesn't fit me at all. Graphic designer, because of their visual abilities, being a graphic designer is also a good choice for dyslexics. Graphic designers create visuals using a combination of art and technology. Graphic designers work in firms that specialize in graphic design, advertising, publishing. Again, it's something else that would require some training and teaching. I could see how being a carpenter would be a good job for a dyslexic. It's just not something that I would ever be interested in. Or the landscape. I have a black thumb. I have absolutely no desire to even have a garden. So, and I don't even know what this means. Urban and regional planner. Good sense of spatial relationship awareness makes being a regional or urban planner a good choice for a person with dyslexia. Urban and regional planners design communities and other urban areas. Most urban planners will work with local government. See, I can't see myself doing that either. A good visual thinking also influence creativity, possibly making photography a good choice for a person with dyslexia. Photographers have expert knowledge in how to use cameras. That's where I don't have. I don't have expert knowledge. And I think if I did, I would probably do quite well. Anyway, so my frustration is yes, I have found this website, but it doesn't really help me much. And I don't know where to go for help anymore. I've tried going through the state. I have been desperately going about it in my own. I have taken advantage of programs. I feel like I have done everything that I know to do, and I am like beyond the point of the end of my rope. I just feel like that's it. There's no hope for me. Never gonna happen. Even though on some level I still haven't given up. But I wonder all the time, what is it that's going to push me over the edge of finally just saying, fuck it, I give up. I'm going to go live under a bridge somewhere. Anyway, it's been a rough day. I'm in a very bad headspace. I'm not thinking probably very logically or rationally at the moment. So it's probably a good thing for me to go. But I'll try to vent and ramble a little bit later, and maybe things will be better. I will hope. I always hope.